Hello, my dear. I am so glad you are here. Before we begin, before we do or say or think anything at all, I want you to take one slow, gentle breath with me. Inhale through your nose, hold it softly for just a moment, and exhale through your mouth, long and easy, like you are releasing something you have been carrying since yesterday. Good. Do it once more. Inhale and exhale. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your jaw loosen. Feel the space between your thoughts widen just a little. You are here, and that is already enough. Now, I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer it honestly, just to yourself. When you woke up this morning, what was the very first thing you said? Not out loud necessarily, but inside, that first quiet thought, that first feeling, that first inner whisper before the world came rushing in. Was it something kind? Something gentle? Something that said, "Today is going to be good. I am grateful to be alive. I am ready for what this day holds"? Or was it something heavier, a sigh, a dread, a long mental list of everything waiting for you, a quiet, tired thought of, "Here we go again"? If it was the second one, my love, please hear me when I say this. You are not alone, and you are not broken. Most of us were never taught how to begin our mornings. We were taught to wake up and immediately be useful, to check, to rush, to prepare for what needs to be done. Nobody sat us down and said, "The first words you speak to yourself each morning will set the tone for everything that follows." But that is exactly what today is about, because there is a way of waking up that changes everything. Not a complicated ritual, not an hour-long routine, just a few quiet, intentional words spoken before your feet even touch the floor. And today, I am going to share them with you. Take one more breath, settle in, and let's begin. Here is something I have come to believe with my whole heart after many years of watching people transform their lives in the most unexpected ways. The morning is not just the start of a day, it is the start of a story. Every single morning, before the noise begins, your mind is in a state unlike any other moment in your day. Soft, open, receptive, like freshly turned soil, waiting to receive whatever seed is placed in it first. And most of us, without realizing it, plant seeds of worry, of obligation, of low-level dread. We reach for the phone before we have even said hello to ourselves. We scroll through other people's lives before we have even checked in with our own. We hand our minds over to the world before the world has even asked for them. And then we wonder why the day feels heavy before it has truly begun. But here is the beautiful truth hiding inside all of this. You have a choice. Every single morning, you have a choice. Before the phone, before the news, before the demands of anyone or anything else, there is a window, a sacred, quiet window of just a few minutes where you are the first voice your mind hears. And what you say in that window matters more than you know. Think of the first stone dropped into still water, just one small stone, and watch how the ripples spread, slowly at first, then wider and wider, until they have touched every edge of the surface. Your morning words are that stone. Drop in worry, and worry ripples through every conversation, every decision, every moment of your day. Drop in love, and love ripples. Drop in trust, and trust ripples. Drop in the quiet certainty that today is going to be good, and that certainty begins to shape everything you see and feel and attract. Say this with me now, softly and with intention. Today I choose how I begin. My morning is sacred, and I start it with love. Read it again. Feel it. Those words are not just pretty. They are a declaration, a statement to your own subconscious mind that says, "I am the author of this day. I am not a passenger. I am not a victim of whatever mood arrives first. I choose, and that choice, made every morning, becomes a life. Breathe that in. Let it become yours. Let's begin with something I want you to truly understand, not just hear, but feel in your bones. There is a reason the morning feels different from any other part of the day. When you first wake from sleep, your brain is moving through what scientists call the hypnagogic state, a threshold between sleep and full waking consciousness. In this state, your critical mind, the part that argues, doubts, and filters, is still quiet, still warm from sleep, not yet fully on guard. And in that quietness, your subconscious is completely open, wide open, like a door left unlatched. Whatever walks through that door in the first 5 minutes will move deeply into your mind, far more deeply than anything said to you at noon or 3 in the afternoon or before bed. I know that can feel like a heavy responsibility. I know some of you are reading this and thinking, but my first thoughts are automatic. I can't help what comes to mind when I wake up. And you are right. The very first thought, that involuntary flash, you cannot always choose that. But the second thought, that one is yours. The moment you become aware, the moment you notice that you are awake, that is your window. That is where your power begins. Not in fighting the first thought, but in consciously choosing what comes next. And what I am inviting you to do is simply this: have something ready. Have a word, a sentence, a small and loving declaration already prepared, so that the moment you become aware, you can gently place it into your mind like a gift, not a performance, not something you shout at yourself with forced enthusiasm, just something quiet and true and kind. Something like, "Good morning. I am grateful to be here. Today holds something good for me." That is it. That is the beginning. Whisper to yourself now, "Today, I choose how I begin. My morning is sacred, and I start it with love." Take a breath. Feel the simplicity of it. Feel how available it is, how it asks nothing from you except willingness. Now let's move into something very specific, because I do not want to leave you with a beautiful idea that floats away by afternoon. I want to give you something you can actually use tomorrow morning, something so simple that there is no excuse not to try it, and yet so powerful that if you do it consistently, it will quietly rewire the way your mornings feel within just a few weeks. There are 3 things I believe every morning needs: not elaborate rituals, not perfection, just 3 seeds planted before you leave your bed. The first seed is gratitude, one true, genuine thing you are grateful for, not a list, not a performance of gratitude, one real thing. It can be as small as, "I am grateful for the warmth of this blanket. I am grateful that I woke up. I am grateful for the light coming through the window." Why does this matter? Because gratitude is the fastest way to shift the brain out of threat mode. When we wake in anxiety, when the mind immediately begins scanning for problems, the body is actually in a mild stress response. Cortisol is rising. The nervous system is preparing for difficulty. And in that state, we see the day through the lens of what could go wrong. Gratitude interrupts that pattern. It says to the brain, "Wait, look here. There is something good already present." And when the brain finds something good, it begins to look for more. It is not magic, it is simply how our minds are built. So before you leave your bed, one true quiet thank you. The second seed is identity. This is the part most people skip, and it is the part that changes everything. Every morning, you have an opportunity to choose who you are going to be today, not who you were yesterday, not who you fear you might be, who you are right now, in this moment. choosing. Speak it aloud or whisper it into the quiet. I am calm. I am capable. I am someone who handles this day with grace. It does not matter if you fully believe it yet. The mind does not require belief first, it requires repetition. Say it enough mornings, and the belief will come. The brain will begin to build its reality around the identity you keep declaring. This is not self-deception, this is self-creation. Let's affirm together. I choose my identity each morning. Today I am peaceful, worthy, and open to all good things. Feel that. Even a small shift in how those words land in your body, that is the practice working. And the third seed, expectation. Before you leave your bed, say softly, something good is coming for me today. Not something huge, not a named miracle, just something good, a kindness, a moment of ease, an unexpected smile, a problem that resolves more gently than you feared. When you expect good, you notice good. When you notice it, you amplify it. And what you amplify in your awareness, you attract more of in your experience. These three seeds, gratitude, identity, expectation, take less than 60 seconds to plant. 60 seconds before you leave your bed. That is the practice. Breathe. Let that land. Now, here is something I want you to really take in, because this is where the practice becomes something larger than just a morning habit. A day that begins with love does not just feel different, it unfolds differently. When you start your morning in your own corner, when you are the first voice of kindness your mind hears, something quiet but profound shifts in the way you move through the hours that follow. You become a little more patient, not because the world suddenly stops testing you, but because your nervous system entered the day in a state of safety rather than threat. And from safety, patience comes naturally. You become a little more open. When you begin the morning by choosing trust, you walk into conversations and situations with less armor on, and people feel that openness. They respond to it. The world tends to meet you where you are. You become a little more magnetic. This may sound mystical, but it is simply the law of energy at work. When you carry a frequency of quiet confidence, of gentle gratitude, of soft expectation, you become someone that good things can find. Opportunities notice you. The right words come. The right doors open. Not because you pushed them, but because you were standing in the right place inside yourself. I want to tell you about something I have witnessed many times over the years. A woman I once knew had spent decades beginning every morning in a rush and a low-grade dread. She was not unhappy, but she was never quite at peace either. Her days had a gray quality to them, even when nothing was technically wrong. She began, very simply, very reluctantly, placing her hand on her heart each morning before getting out of bed. Just for 30 seconds, just to say three things. Thank you, I am enough. Something good is coming. She told me later that the first week felt foolish, like talking to herself for no reason. But by the third week, something had shifted. She noticed she was humming while she made her tea. She noticed her first thought upon waking had changed, not dramatically, but softly. She was waking up with a faint sense of anticipation rather than obligation. By the second month, she said her whole life felt lighter, not because her circumstances had changed, but because she had. Let it become your anchor. Today I choose how I begin. My morning is sacred, and I start it with love. Say it one more time, slower, like you mean it, because you do. Now, my love, I want to take you somewhere. Close your eyes if you are able, or simply let your gaze soften and rest somewhere gentle. Let your hands relax, open, not clenched. Let your feet feel the ground or the warmth of wherever you are resting. Take a deep breath in and a long, slow breath out and again, each breath carrying you a little deeper into stillness. Imagine it is tomorrow morning. You are lying in your bed. The room around you is quiet. The light outside is just beginning, that soft gray gold light that belongs only to the very first minutes of the day. The air is still. The world is not yet asking anything of you. Your eyes are just opening. And instead of reaching for anything, instead of bracing for the day, or running through your to-do list, or checking who has messaged you in the night, you do something different. You pause. You place one hand gently over your heart. You feel it beating there, steady, faithful. This heart that has carried you through every difficult day, every uncertain night, every moment when you were not sure you would be okay. Still here, still going, still yours. And you take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, you say, just barely above a whisper, thank you. Thank you for this morning. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for the fact that today is new, that yesterday is over, and this moment has never existed before. Feel what happens when you say that. Feel the softening, the tiny but real shift in your chest, the way the word thank you changes something in your body before it even changes anything in your mind. Now breathe again, and this time you say, still quietly, still with gentleness, I am enough for today. I am ready. You do not need to believe it with your whole heart yet. You only need to say it. You only need to offer it to yourself the way you might offer a warm cup of tea to a friend who is tired, not as a demand, as a gift. Feel those words traveling inward, moving down from your throat into your chest, settling somewhere around your heart like a warm light, small but real, present, and one more time before you rise. Something good is coming for me today. I am open. I am ready to receive it. Stay here for a moment. Just breathe. Just feel. Notice that the room looks the same. The light is the same. The day ahead holds all the same circumstances it held before you closed your eyes. And yet, something has shifted. You have shifted. Not dramatically, not with fireworks or sudden certainty, just quietly, gently, by 1 degree. And 1 degree held every morning becomes a completely different direction over the course of a life. Now imagine yourself rising from the bed, not dragging yourself out, but stepping out, intentionally, like someone who has already decided this day is on their side. Your feet touch the floor, and you carry those 3 small seeds with you: gratitude, identity, expectation, like lights in your pockets, quiet, warm, yours. You move into your morning differently, a little softer, a little more open, a little more trusting that the day is not something to survive, but something to live. That is the morning that changes everything, my dear. Not a perfect morning, not a morning free of difficulty or uncertainty, but a morning that began with your own voice, speaking kindness to your own heart before anyone or anything else had the chance to speak first. That is power. Quiet, sacred, unshakable power. Take a deep breath and gently return to this moment, to this room, to this body that is already right now preparing to wake up differently tomorrow. Say it with me one more time, with conviction. Today I choose how I begin. My morning is sacred, and I start it with love. Now that your heart is open and your mind is soft, I want to give you the exact practice, clear and simple, so that when you wake up tomorrow, you know precisely what to do. I call it the before your feet touch the floor practice. Here is how it works. The moment you become aware that you are awake, before you reach for your phone, before you think about the day, before you do anything, you do just 4 things. 1. Breathe first. One conscious breath, in through your nose, out through your mouth, long and deliberate. This is not decoration. This breath signals your nervous system that you are safe, that today is not an emergency, that you have a moment. That moment is everything. 2. Place your hand on your heart. Physical touch activates the body's calming response. When your hand meets your chest and you feel your own heartbeat, your brain receives a signal of safety and presence. This is not mystical, it is physiological, and it takes 3 seconds. 3. Say your 3 seeds out loud or in a whisper. Gratitude. Thank you for this new day. Identity. I am calm, I'm worthy, ready, loved. Choose one that feels true today. Expectation. Something good is already on its way to me. 3 sentences, 15 seconds. That is the entire practice. 4. Take one more breath before you rise. Not rushing, not reaching. Just one more breath to seal what you have just planted, to let it settle into your cells before the world begins. That is it, the whole practice. I want you to commit to just 21 mornings, not forever, just 21. Give your mind 21 chances to learn a new beginning. In the first week, it may feel mechanical, like going through motions. That is fine. Keep going. In the second week, you will likely notice your mornings have a slightly different texture, a quiet, hard to name lightness. The anxious thoughts will still arrive, but they will arrive into a space that is already a little stronger, a little warmer, a little more yours. By the third week, my dear, you will not want to stop because you will have felt in your body, in your days, in the way the world seems to meet you, what it means to begin from love rather than from fear. Say it with me as a commitment. I am worthy of a beautiful morning. I choose how I begin. I start every day with love. I want to speak with you now about why this works, not just as a habit, but as an energetic truth. The universe, my dear, is not watching your actions. It is reading your energy. Every morning before you have done a single thing, you are already broadcasting. You are already sending a signal out into the world and into the fabric of your day. That signal is made not of your words, but of your felt inner state. A morning that begins in anxiety sends out the frequency of anxiety, and that frequency, like a tuning fork, begins to pull toward you the experiences, the conversations, the small events that match it. You find more things to be anxious about because you are tuned to that station. But a morning that begins in gratitude, in quiet love, in soft expectation, sends out an entirely different frequency, and life, which is always listening, begins to reflect that back. This is not coincidence, this is alignment. Think of yourself as a tuning fork. The note you strike in the morning, that is the note that resonates through everything that follows. The meetings, the conversations, the small moments that either frustrate you or delight you. All of them are shaped in part by the frequency you entered the day carrying. You do not need to shout your desires. You do not need to perform positivity. You only need to whisper consistently, tenderly, every morning, a note of love, and the day will begin to harmonize with it. This is why the morning practice is not optional if you are serious about changing your life. It is not a supplement. It is the foundation. The signal you send at dawn shapes the reception you get all day long. Let this become your anchor. Feel it as you say it. My morning energy is my signal to the universe. When I begin with love, love meets me everywhere I go. Breathe. Let that settle. You are not just starting a day. You are setting a frequency, and your frequency is your prayer. Before we close today, my dear, I want you to take one slow, tender breath in through the nose and out through the heart. Let your whole body soften with that exhale. Let the muscles in your face release. Let your hands open. Let this moment be gentle with you. I want to say something to you before you go. Something I hope you will carry with you into every morning from this day forward. You deserve a beautiful beginning, not someday, not once things are easier or calmer or more certain. Now, today, tomorrow morning, when your eyes open and the day is still quiet and the world has not yet made its demands. You deserve those first few minutes. You deserve to be the first voice of kindness your own heart hears. So many of us give our best energy to everyone and everything else, our families, our work, our worries, our obligations, and we give ourselves the leftovers, the tired ends of the day, the rushed, half-present moments between one responsibility and the next. The before your feet touch the floor practice is how you change that. One morning at a time, not dramatically, not perfectly, just consistently. Let the past mornings be at peace. However they began, they brought you here. Let this morning be a turning point. Let tomorrow's morning be sacred, and let every morning after that be a gentle, loving choice. Whisper with me now. Thank you, life, for the gift of a new morning. Thank you for the chance to begin again. Thank you for teaching me that I have always had the power to choose how my day begins. Go into this day or into tonight and then into tomorrow morning with something new in your hands. Not a burden, not a demand, a seed. 3 small seeds planted in the soft soil of your waking mind before your feet even touch the floor. Gratitude, identity, expectation, and the quiet, powerful declaration that precedes all of it. Today, I choose how I begin. My morning is sacred, and I start it with love. I want you to notice something over the coming days and weeks. Notice how the mornings you begin with intention feel different from the ones you don't. Not better in some loud, obvious way, but quieter, steadier, like you are walking through the day with your feet a little more firmly beneath you. Notice how the small things change first. The way you respond to a frustration with a little more patience than you expected. The way a kind thought arrives before a critical one. The way you catch yourself mid-afternoon feeling inexplicably well and realizing it is because something in you has been different since you woke. These are not small things, my love. These are the signs that your signal is shifting, that the ripples from that first morning stone are spreading further than you can see. And one day, not too far from now, you will look back at this moment and say, that was where everything changed. Not with a dramatic event, not with a crisis or a lightning bolt, with a breath, a hand on the heart, 3 quiet seeds planted before the world woke up. That is how a life transforms, gently, faithfully, one sacred morning at a time. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are simply beginning, and beginning is everything with all my love, always.